You're watching CBS News Los Angeles, The Rundown.
Hello, I'm Juan Fernandez, and here's a look at your top stories. Tragedy for the LA Fire Department family after a recruit died in a crash on the 101 freeway. KCAL News reporter Jeff Nguyen is working on that story.
Jeff Nguyen here in Boyle Heights, and we are outside the LA County Medical Examiner's office. And the reason we are here is because of a tragedy that happened on the 101 freeway in Studio City this morning. So the LA County Fire Department says that one of their recruits was driving to the academy northbound on the 101 freeway when he came across a traffic crash on the 101. At that point, the recruit got out of his car to try to help the people involved, but unfortunately he was struck and killed possibly by another vehicle on the freeway. So soon after that, there was a rescue effort to try to save his life, but unfortunately first responders were not able to do that. The freeway was impacted for many, many hours, and then after that, the medical examiner's office, along with an escort from the fire departments, had a procession from Vineland to the medical examiner's office here in Boyle Heights. And along the way from our chopper, we could see members of the fire department lining up on freeway overpasses to pay their respects, giving salutes to the recruit as his procession passed by. When the procession arrived here at the coroner's office, it was a very emotional scene. We believe what we saw from our chopper was fellow recruits, members of his class at the academy, removing his casket from the hearse to deliver to the medical examiner's office. And we believe that his family was here to greet him as well. We believe it was his family because we have learned through the fire department that the recruit's father is a member of LAFD, and at this point the department is not telling us what his father does for the department or where he works within the department, because they want to basically honor the family's privacy. So in the spirit of that, they are not releasing the recruit's name or age or anything about him as of yet. So we will stay on top of this for you throughout the day and have the very latest on this tragedy on KCAL News beginning at 4 p.m.
All right, more from Jeff at 4. Meantime, breaking news in Bel Air, where a worker was killed this afternoon after being trapped under a forklift at a construction site. This happened around 1 this afternoon on North Moraga Drive. LA City fire crews say that they responded to the scene, and they included a search and rescue team as well. Fire officials say the forklift was carrying steel rebar when it toppled on top of the worker. No other injuries were reported. Cal OSHA is now investigating. The suspect in the Venice attacks case is expected to be in court this afternoon after being hit with several serious charges in the last hour. The charges against Anthony Jones include 1 count of attempted murder, 1 count torture, 1 count sexual penetration with use of force, and 2 counts forcible rape. This all happened after the attacks of 2 women walking in the Venice Canals back on April 6. Jones is accused of beating the women with a club. 1 victim is still in the hospital. Jones was found last week in San Diego and brought back to LA, where he is now being held on no bail. Controversy involving the Dodgers farm team, the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, and their new team name. KCAL News reporter Jasmine Veal has a preview for us.
So I'm here inside of the stadium, and you can see the field where the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes play their games. The minor league team behind me, this is their off day, but they're here doing some batting practice and pitching practice. And we're talking today about the rebranding that they did for the Fun Cup, which is called Copa de la Diversión, and they rebranded themselves the Chaquetas. And they did this after a legendary moment with Dodgers pitcher Joe Kelly that took place at the White House. He showed up in a mariachi jacket. And so after a lot of research and thought and consideration, they decided to rebrand for this event series, the Chaquetas. And you can see the picture there on these hats, and behind me, the jersey with some of the the design on the mariachi jackets with the name across the front. This is actually a jersey that these players will be wearing in their upcoming Copa de la Diversión Series game in May. So I have the jersey still and the hats, which are actually sold out. Their first game for the Chaquetas took place on Saturday with a line of people coming in and snatching up all of this swag. But today we're talking about a controversy that happened after this name was revealed. And I guess some people realize that it had a different connotation in slang in different parts of Mexico, meaning touching oneself. So it was brought to the attention of the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, and for about 3 hours they took down the name. And then they decided, hey, that's not what we were implying. That's not the meaning, of course, that we were intending. So they brought it back in full swing ahead. They are going with this and saying it is about that meeting with Joe Kelly, whose family showed up here on the opening day for the season, for this event series. And so we are talking to the general manager, Grant Riddle, about how they came about with this name, this title, how they came about it, what his reaction was when it was brought to his attention that this had a different kind of slang meaning. We also caught up with one of the players here with the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, and during practice today, he was dressed in this gear. He had the hat on, he had the jersey, and he says he loves it. His family loves it. He's from Mexico, and he's one of the pitchers here with the Quakes. So we have all of that coming up on KCAL News. We'll see you then.
All right, let's turn now to the weather. A live look at Santa Monica right now, and it is looking fantastic. The rain is gone and the sun is out to start the work week, but how long will this warmth last? KCAL News meteorologist Olga Ospina has details now in your next weather. Olga.
Hi, Juan, and what a welcome sight, I think, for all of us after all that rain that we've been seeing the last couple of weekends. And of course, it's been a very wet season overall. But yes, we have some sunshine. We have people enjoying Santa Monica Beach this afternoon. Lucky you. Temperature is still mild along the coast, 64 degrees. But yes, we do have that sunshine, and you can see that we are dry. That storm has pushed off to the east. Temperature change map showing us numbers are way up, more than 10 degrees for a lot of our inland spots. As we head into Lancaster, we're 15 degrees warmer, 13 degrees hotter in Claremont, into Chino, and numbers only expected to continue to rise in the coming days. Right now, we are feeling 58 in Malibu, 71 in Santa Clarita. We have upper 60s in Chino, into Riverside, already in the 80s in Palm Springs, and we're going to be feeling more of those 80s here locally as we head into tomorrow. So highs on your Tuesday, 67 along the coast, 75 for LAOC Metro. Valleys and Inland Empire, you will get into the low 80s, upper 70s for the high desert. Mountains, you will be at mid 60s. So here's a look at the big picture. There's that storm that brought us the rain over the weekend. It's pushed off to the east. We have this area of high pressure that's building in. It's going to bring us some really warm temperatures over the next couple of days. And even into next weekend, we've had those weekend storms that have been impacting us. This weekend, a very different picture. Start making those outdoor plans. We have high pressure overhead. We're going to keep things dry. And again, those 80s are returning for our inland spots as we head into the next few days. And for some of us, even into next weekend. Here's a look at numbers for this afternoon. So still on the milder side, still running a few degrees below average, with most areas in the upper 60s from Simi Valley into Burbank, downtown Los Angeles, 68, as well as Fullerton. We do have those low 80s out in the low desert, but we will be feeling them here for places like the valleys and the IE tomorrow. Next 7 days for LAOC Metro, we're looking at mid 70s from Tuesday to Thursday. A little cooler with the disturbance moving through as we head into late in the week, but then numbers rebound by the weekend, once again in the mid 70s, especially by Sunday. Next 7 days for the valleys, low 80s and upper 70s will be the story over the next 3 days. And look at the weekend, 76 and 78 with some sunshine. As we head towards the Inland Empire, you too will be in the 80s and even feeling 80s by the weekend, by Sunday, even into early next week. As we head towards the deserts, it's going to be warm there. Also, mountains bouncing back into the 60s after a very cold weekend filled with snow. Beaches, upper 60s, comfortable, not too hot along the coast, but again, those inland spots really enjoying those upper 70s and even some low 80s in the coming days. Juan.
All right, Olga, thank you. Well, Donald Trump says he's honored to be in court for the first criminal trial ever for a former U.S. president. Both sides are currently picking a jury. The trial will determine whether Trump ordered former fixer Michael Cohen to pay hush money to Stormy Daniels to cover up their alleged affair before the 2016 presidential election. Cohen claims the money was falsely logged as legal fees. Trump is calling this a simple case of a political opponent. He faces a potential prison sentence of up to 4 years. LA Mayor Karen Bass will host her second State of the City address tonight. She's expected to address the homelessness crisis and a projected $467 million budget shortfall. You can watch the mayor's entire address tonight at 6:30 here on CBS News Los Angeles and on kcalnews.com. This has been CBS News Los Angeles, The Rundown. Thanks for joining us. I'm Juan Fernandez. We'll be back live at 4 right here on CBS News Los Angeles.